I was thinking this morning about, it was a few years back, and I was having a conversation with my son after I had picked him up from school, and I could tell as soon as he got in the car that there was a sense of defeatedness or deflation that he was feeling. And so I asked him, and I don't know why it got into us talking about the future, but I asked him to tell me, what does he think his future looks like? And I think it was because, all of his friends were planning out colleges and their future, and he really just didn't know where his place was at that point. And so I said, well, talk to me about what you think your future looks like. And he described what he, in his mind, was a mediocre life. He had this average house and this average job with this wife and maybe 2 kids. And so I asked him, is this your dream? And he looks at me and he's like, well, no, of course it's not my dream. And I'm like, well, then why wouldn't you tell me about your dream when I'm asking you about your future? And he said, because, well, let's get real, Mom. There's only 4 ways to really get wealthy. And for me to be able to reach my dream, I need to be wealthy. Okay, well, then talk to me about those 4 ways. Like, I was curious, what's in his mind. And so he told me, one, that you could be born into it. That's the easiest way. 1, that you could have great talent, like an NBA player, an NFL player, and such things like that. 1, being a genius, like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates, or someone who was able to take their genius mind and just create something, huge. And the other being lucky, like winning the lottery or things of that nature. And so I dissected further, can you give me an example of each one of these people? And so he told me a name of someone in every category. And then I wanted to know, what did that person do? So the NBA player, did he just slack off and not do anything? Was he just so talented that he got on the NBA team and is in the Hall of Fame and all these things by not doing anything? And he's like, well, no. And he described the workout routine and the training and the rigorous work that went into this. And then Mark Zuckerberg, do you think that he was able to just take his genius mind and create this thing? Or talk to me about how you think that happened. And he ran through that as well. And then the same for the other 2, because anybody that wins the lottery, the chances of you actually keeping your wealth versus losing it were far greater that you would lose it, right? And so what made the difference between people who were able to manage that more easily and those that actually lost it? And so by the end of that conversation, he looks at me and he says, Mom, I think that I've actually figured out a 5th way to gain wealth. And I'm like, okay, well, talk to me about that. What does that look like? And he says, working really hard. And it was like an aha moment, right? And so I said, okay, well, give me an example of those people. And when he described those people, they were more ordinary people, more people that we know, more people. It became something that all of a sudden he could attach to and maybe relate to. And then it became something that could be achievable to him. And so now I wanted to know, talk to me again about your future. What does your home look like? And now it was this massive property and on the water, and it had a 5-car garage. And I wanted to know how many cars in each one, and what kind of cars, and what color were they, and what did your kitchen look like, and how many windows did you have, and what color are your cabinets, and do you have hardwood floors running through? What kind of carpet do you have? How many stories are there? Do you have a movie room? All of these things I wanted, and he got so excited, and I wanted to know more and more and more. And talk to me about your wife. Talk to me about your kids. What are you doing with yourself? And there was just this excitement all of a sudden, because he could visualize this. He could attach to it. He could actually relate and think that he had a possibility of getting there. Guys, it's about mindset, right? And it's about having goals, and it's about, you're going to fail 1,000 times. But as long as you're willing to get back up after each failure, because each failure is a lesson, as long as you're willing to stick with it through all of the hate, through all of the criticism, through all of that stuff, have it in you to get back up, to rise again and build that life you really, really want. Because not only do you deserve it, but what you can do for others once you obtain it, once it's there, what you could do to change the world with it, and how many people you can help, right? And so if you just have that mindset, create your vision board, look at it every day, know what your goal is, attach yourself to it, and then just continue to go out there and be repetitive and be consistent and get back up and just rock at it and continue hitting it. I promise you, you will get there. And I promise you, you'll teach others, and you'll bring others along the way, and you'll create more wealth for you on living life your way, on your terms, and helping other people do the same. So get your mindset straight. Talk to yourself about your goals, tell yourself a different story, and get where you want to be.